horn tingling? Let's rub horns. Horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up. We are Unicorn Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the basement. Dusters, basement dwellers, we got a lot going on. We're going to dissect what is happening right now in the economy, in the markets. We're going to talk about unicorn fart dust. We're going to talk about silver and gold. We're going to talk about how scared we should be and what is happening right now. We are in unprecedented times. But first, my disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy in his basement. I'm not a financial advisor. No, I'm just a guy in his basement talking about what I find interesting, what you find interesting, right? Meme coins, gold, silver, the economy, what is going on. But it's a big deal when you join me here in the basement. So I want to say thank you to you for being here today. This is not possible without our club, without our group coming together. I hope you feel like you found a new home, a little home away from home, a friend, right? There's a lot of great people in these communities, in our community. So I encourage you, right? So many friendships have been made. Thank you. Oh, that's what I meant to say. Please, right? Retweet this. Like, share, subscribe, watch it on YouTube, share it with your grandma. I don't know, do whatever. The more people we can tell about what's going on within the UFD community, right? Within the silver and gold community, the more people that we can help educate and help. Hey, the bigger we get, the better we do. So thank you once again for being here. Let's talk about the markets are very difficult. Are you feeling pain? People are stressed. People are anxious. All the markets, the stock market, the real estate market, although that takes a while to be like talked about. But the reality is the real estate market, the bond market, everything is feeling stress. Although the bond market interest rates have been dropping, so the price has gone up a little bit. Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying. Everywhere you look, it feels like there's carnage, right? World record losses in the stock market. People are getting stressed. Remain positive, guys, right? Within Unicorn Fart Dust, within our community, it is so critical that you continue to do what we're already doing, which is remain positive, right? Keep a smile on your face, because when we think about it, right, 3.5 months, our track record shows that we are not going anywhere. Let's run out and take a look. I saw something very interesting on our chart, and I want to run out here and take a look at our chart. Hey, let's savor this while we can. We're at 0.01625. Hold on, I'm going to draw this line while we can, my fellow dusters. Here, look at this. We're actually in a little bit of an uptrend over the last 3 hours. And we'll take what we can get. There has been absolute, as you know, carnage in the crypto markets. But here's what I saw that I found very, very, very interesting. Our volume as a percentage of our market cap over the last 24 hours, 41%. It's like, are you kidding me? That means that 4 out of 10 UFD beans have traded hands over the last 24 hours. To me, I thought the numbers of the last few days were incredibly high. We were like at 6, 7, 8%. But guys, this is absolutely insane, because remember, right? There's our max supply, 1 billion beans. I mean, you got to think, right, that some portion for sure of those 41%, 4 out of every 10 UFD beans that traded hands landed in the hands of a diamond hoof duster, right? I bought last night. I'm diamond hoof. Did you buy? I'm not giving financial advice. Don't buy or sell anything based on what I'm saying, but we bought, and I'm diamond hooved. So part of that was me, and you know that there were some other people as well. Let's go look at some of the other action quickly in the crypto market. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, right? The grandpappy of them all. We're the great great grandson of, okay, their market cap 5% of total volume over the last 24 hours. So 1 in 20. Okay. But look at this. Last night, Bitcoin dropped below $75,000. Now, remember, on the day that we started UFD, right, December 16th, either that day or the day before, Bitcoin was at $108,000. It was probably right here. Yeah, on the 17th. Right in that range is when we started. So guys, we have been, and let's draw this. Here's the day that we started UFD. And basically, as you can see, the crypto market, that's what we've been fighting against. And we've been fighting strong. I mean, what we've accomplished is nothing short of amazing. And let's go take a look at, where is she? Solana. Wow, Solana at 102. I remember the day that I created Unicorn Fart Desk. I'd never heard of Solana until that day, by the way, December 16th. Solana was around 220, as I remember. Let's take a look. Yeah, there it is. What? That's 11. Wait a minute. Wow, 116. And there's about right around here is where I bought my first Solana, 225. I had no idea that prior to that it had been at 255. And look at that. We kind of forgot about that. That's probably when we hit our peak price as well. Around the 18th of January, Solana was at 261. Let's go back and look at Unicorn Fart Dust real quickly. We don't want to spend too much time diving into these charts, guys, but it's important for us to remember kind of the macro environment that we're dealing with. What did I say? 116? Yeah, there it is, right there. 119, okay, that's right around when we hit our all-time high for $400 million. Unbelievable. So that's the macro environment that we're dealing with now. Okay, we have to remember this as well. And we're going to get into what's happening in the general economy also. But guys, the crypto sector, okay, the general markets are falling apart. Okay, it's risk off. The sentiment, people are freaking out. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. Are you freaking out? Okay, I'm a little freaked out, but I'm a little freaked out most of the time anyway. But the general markets are in bad shape. People, the sentiment, right? The VIX, the fear index, the VIX is at like near 45. It's hardly ever been that high. So we've got a lot of fear in the market right now. A lot of people very worried about what's going on, and it's gonna feed through into crypto, because crypto is considered to be a riskier part of the market. And then on top of that, right, meme coins are considered to be the riskiest part of the riskiest part. So let's hang in there. What we have is special. What we have is unique. What we have, I believe, can endure. And that's what I'm optimistic about at this page. So what's causing everything in the general market? So we're going to go out and get an update here on what's happening in the general markets as well. But guys, we are in unprecedented times. Over the last 12 weeks, the tempo, the speed at which massive cataclysmic changes have been injected into the world economy, into the world financial system, are really unprecedented. You've got what's going on with the DOGE, the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, cutting thousands and thousands of high-paying government jobs, okay? On top of that, then we have the tariffs thrown in there, which just upended, in a lot of ways, the world economy, world trade relationships, a big deal. And on top of that, we've got the geopolitical situation, the war with Russia, the war in Ukraine with Russia, the Middle East, Taiwan, China. We are in very much so unprecedented times. And on top of that, we've got a stock market that was in bubble territory. And, all right, the United States on a fiscal level has a debt crisis like the world really has never seen before. So that's what's going on. Things are happening, massive changes that would typically have taken like years and years to occur, right? Just thrown on, right? Especially obviously, right? The catalyst for what's going on now is this tariff situation. Look, there's all types. I had deep discussions last night with some high level people. There's all types of theories. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. That's the answer. If that's the answer you're looking for, nobody knows exactly what's going on. If you got a roof over your head and some food to eat, be grateful, okay? But besides that, trying to discern for sure what is going on out there is darn near impossible. There's all types of theories, right? Trump is crashing the economy on purpose to force Jerome Powell to institute easy money. I probably think that's the most maybe likely of them all. There's people that have conspiracy theories that the deep state is trying to hurt Donald Trump, right? And is going to crash the markets. The world. Then we've got what's going on in the entire world. We have currency wars, trade wars. It's very complicated. It's fun. It's not fun what's happening to the value of many assets around the world, but it's a fun little exercise to try to think about what's going on. But please, trust me, I've already tried. You will drive yourself crazy if you really think that you're going to be able to figure out what is going on right now. But let's go out to CNBC. Let's see what they're saying about this current situation that we are facing. Let's see what the markets look like. And I need to refresh this. Here we are at the CNBC website. And breaking, the Dow drops 1,300 points. Wow, unbelievable. We're at 844, 843 here. Why is that on Europe? European stocks drop 4%. Woof. Here, U.S. markets. Let's see what's going on in the U.S. markets here. Okay, yeah. Wow, wow, guys. This is crazy. The Dow's down 1,700 points. Is this live? The NASDAQ is down another 800. Looks like gold is up. Wow, the 10-year Treasury yields at 4%. This is just absolutely incredible what is happening. Let's go out to Yahoo Finance to double check that these numbers are correct. I don't know why it's giving me the European numbers at the top, but hold on one second here. Okay, guys, I'm going to run out the Yahoo Finance, and here we are. You're on the same screen with me now. Let's see what's happening. Okay, that says the S&P 500. Okay, maybe those numbers on over at CNBC were wrong. We're going to refresh this. Now the NASDAQ down almost 5%. The Russell down 4%. The Dow, the only thing that's green right now is gold. That is very, very interesting. Let's see what other headlines they're bringing up on CNBC. Bond yields tank around the world as investors take cover. Politicians urge calm in Europe after Trump tariffs drive the stock market earthquake. Trump says he doesn't want stocks to go down. Quote, but sometimes you have to take the medicine. Here's live 4 minutes ago. Yeah, the Dow drops 1,300 points. What we're probably going to see, just be prepared here, guys, and we're going to look at some other articles as well, but what we're probably going to see what happens during these periods, what has happened in the past. And look, I don't have a crystal ball, but we probably will see some kind of headline come out and then a face-ripping rally. They call those bear traps, I believe. If indeed we are in a situation where we can drop further, and we're going to look at what some of the other like people at Citi, some of the big people are saying, but we can see now we're going to see major increased volatility. So be prepared, right? We could see on a day like today, I'm not making a prediction, but we could see we're down 5% on the NASDAQ. We could have a day where we're up 3% by the end of the day. Okay. That's not out of the question right now. But a lot of people think that there's still more room for things to get more challenging. Here, let's go out and take a look at what Citi, I believe, is saying, warning us right now. And here we go. Wall Street expert warns stocks have, quote, ample space to continue cratering as Trump team digs in on tariffs. I highlighted this part, and yeah, Citi, and by the way, Citi, Citibank, Citicorp, whatever, they have like 200,000 employees. I learned that about a year ago. I was shocked by that. But anyway, Citi head of U.S. equity strategy, Stuart Kaiser, wrote in a note to clients on Sunday. Boy, Stuart was working on Sunday. That he sees, quote, ample space to the downside for stocks. And why does Stuart say that? I'll give you the reason why. Kaiser said the worst case scenario tariff outcomes still have not been priced into earnings estimates or stock valuations. Similarly, should the economy truly be set to slow to the recessionary levels from fear, the stock market hasn't properly priced in the outcome yet either. Kaiser said. Our friend Kaiser, who was burning the midnight oil on a Sunday, earning his massive salary. So, yeah, I mean, guys, the reality is, when you look back over a number of years, let's go take a look at the NASDAQ, for instance. I mean, these stock markets have been just an absolute bubble territory. Let's go here to the NASDAQ and take a look at a long-term chart. Here we are. And what we'll find is quite surprising. Like everybody, okay, now the NASDAQ's only down. That's what I mean. We're going to have crazy volatility here in the next. All right, let's do a 5-year chart of the NASDAQ. Okay, so if we go back here to, what are we in? April of 20, let's say March, about, April, March, about a year ago. We were at, is that correct? Oh, here we are. Okay, so about a year ago on the NASDAQ, we were at 12,000. Okay, we're at 15,000 now, and everybody's freaking out. I'm sorry, that was 2 years ago. We were at 12,000. There is nothing keeping us from going back to those levels. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to scare you or scare anybody. But the reality is, most people out there, okay, most people have been living in la land when it comes to the stock market. They just I just put money in my 401k and it just goes up and up and up and up and up and up. It never goes down. And if it does go down, it comes right back and goes right up. So we could be in a situation, guys, nothing. It's like the stock market had been turned into this like miraculous infinite money machine, where you just put money in and it just keeps going and growing and growing and growing, doesn't take any work. I mean, it kind of, some people would argue, right, because of like index investing and that type of thing, that the stock markets had to a certain degree, and I personally would agree with this, right? This may make you mad to hear, but it kind of turned into a little bit, it had a component of it, which was like a Ponzi scheme. Like people just putting money in and not, people rip on crypto, including me in the past, right? It's just unicorn fart dust. It's not real. It's a Ponzi. Well, the stock market, that revered NASDAQ and the S&P 500 also has a component of that. Yes, sure, there's some real assets that these companies own, but man, I'm telling you, it just went up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Right? People are just like, I just put money in. People that and I'm not putting anybody down, right? Because I don't know a lot about music. I don't know a lot about medicine, right? I happen to know a lot about the markets, and a lot of people just, put their money in the market, and it just went up and up and up and up and never went down. And I was like, it doesn't really come on, think about it. Can't just go up forever and ever and ever, right? Anyway, how did I get off on that subject? Let's look at what Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, right? The JP Morgan Chase, the big financial services company, and the Jamie Dimon. Let's listen to what the Jamie Dimon has to say about things. Okay, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Trump tariffs will boost inflation. Boost inflation? We don't want that. No. Slow and already weakening U.S. economy. Hey, guys, I want to remind you quickly before we get into this article, please share this. Give this a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Go watch it on YouTube. We want to get the word out about UFD, and we are going to talk more about UFD. I've got a whole next segment coming up about UFD. But please help support the channel. Everything here is free. We don't charge for subscriptions or anything fancy like that. So please like, share, subscribe. And let's go down here. JP Morgan Chase CEO said tariffs announced by Donald Trump will likely boost prices on both domestic and imported goods, weighing down on the U.S. economy that had already been slowing. In green, he said he's the first chief executive officer of a major Wall Street bank to publicly address Trump's sweeping tariff policy as global markets tumble. Markets still seem to be pricing assets with the assumption, this is Jamie Dimon speaking, that we will continue to have a fairly soft landing. Dimon said, quote, I'm not so sure. So we've got the CEO of one of the biggest one of the most respected financial services companies telling us that we're in for some hard times, right? He could be wrong. These guys, you never know what to believe when they speak. However, that's the situation. I will tell you this. And I heard a very, very, very smart person say this over the weekend, and it makes sense. In my experience was this is true. I'd be curious if you're experiencing this or if you did experience it. If we get to it, I can't believe on a Monday, you guys are blowing me away. We're going to get to 1,000 people. Hey, retweet this. Let's see if we can get 1,000 people in here because we're going to do some UFD talking here real soon. But did you experience over the weekend, right? Like you're probably involved in the financial markets to one degree or another, follow what's going on. But to me, like people who usually don't talk to me about the financial markets, I can say probably at least 7 of them over this one weekend. And hey, I'm not the most social guy. I spend a lot of time in my basement, but people's like freaking out about the stock market. I even had one person tell me about another person they knew who was actually crying about what's going on. Okay, now think about this. There's a reason why that's so important. Another person told me that, they several people like, oh, I looked at my 401k balance and I was in shock. Okay, the reason why that's important is because those people who don't usually look at their 401k balance until they get a statement every 3 months are like, hey, look, I made, 45,000, I made whatever, right? Blah, 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 right? The market just goes up and up. Well, now these people are logging on, looking at their balances and freaking out. The reason why that's so important is I know from having talked to these people now, they're going to be pulling back on their spending. That's called the wealth effect. It could become kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that the economy slows down. I don't want bad things to happen. I don't want the market to slow down, but that's the reality of how these things work. If you couple that with the fact that we could have like extremely increased inflation, it could really slow volume in the economy down to a halt. Okay. So it's going to be an interesting 3 months. Remember back in 2024 at the beginning of the year, everybody was saying that it was going to be a crazy year. We had war in Europe. We had a presidential election coming up, all this crazy, and people saying remember it was like there's going to be like people taken to the streets and blah blah blah. But now it's happening this year, right? The economy, the wheels are coming off. We've got mass, really big protests were going on over the weekend. Not a political show. This unicorn fart dust has nothing to do. Ron's Basement is not a political show. I'm just reporting the facts. We had major protests going on. We got the market in free fall. This is getting crazy. 2025 is the crazy year. I did say that again, right? The broken clock is right every once in a while. But when nothing really happened in 2024, I had predicted that 2025 could be like the year where a lot of crazy things are breaking out. And it appears that could be the case. Again, be prepared for a lot of volatility in the markets. Let's talk about UFD. Our friend Emma, look, unicorn fart dust is still, right? We're 3.5 months old. Okay. We're like 1 out of a million coins that have done what we've done. So take a step back, give yourself horns up. I forgot to say it. Horns up, Duster. Good attracts good. That's our foundation, right? 3.5 months. We are still here. We are actually, in by most any measurement, what we've done has been miraculous, incredible, right? Right? We were an experiment by an almost boomer. We have fought against insurmountable odds from day one. We're still fighting against massive, insurmountable situations and thriving, right? And thriving. Let's go back out here. And then I've got some really great data from our friend Emma that we're going to look at. But let's go out to, is that us? It sure is. All right, we're moving on up here. All right, let's stay on this live stream, baby. But guys, where is it? Here's what I want to show you. Something up, and I'm not showing you the right tab. Now we are. Sorry about that. Here we are. Wow, we're at 1.69. Awesome. Okay, let's go over here. This is what I want to look at. Right here. This little thing. Number 782. Okay, I'm going to circle it, take it out. If you click on that or just hover over it, it tells us very clearly we are the 782nd cryptocurrency out of 10,367 cryptocurrencies. And look, I want to start calling unicorn fart dust. I don't really like being called a meme coin. I'll be honest with you. To me, we're more of a cryptocurrency. And from my understanding from the research I did early on, meme coins are cryptocurrency. So I'm going to start referring to us as a cryptocurrency because the way we behave, the attributes that we have, I think are more like a cryptocurrency, right, than a meme coin. Although I'm not ashamed to say we're a meme coin. We're a meme coin, but we really are more of a cryptocurrency. And I'm going to share with you some interesting insights from Jack Dorsey in a little bit. But first, let's go see what Emma dug up for us here, and I think I did it all correctly. Emma Bear, our good friend Emma Bear. Guys, Emma Bear, real quickly, has done so much for our community and is an awesome duster, diamond hoof duster. If you ever get a chance to send her a DM or comment on something, please thank her. She has worked tirelessly for us. But this gives us, what does it mean when we continue from these, and this isn't social oriented, this is about actual holders of UFD. Okay, listen to what she discovered. I think it's very interesting. She says, with the market has been in a virtual free fall from the S&P to the NASDAQ to Bitcoin and meme coins. Political affiliations aside, this is 100% a reaction to Trump's unpredictable tariffs. Markets hate uncertainty. Meme coin valuations across Solana have taken a massive hit, and yet unicorn fart dust is doing very well comparative to projects that have been around much longer and that have much higher valuations. Fartcoin is, and I'm happy about this. Fartcoin, right? Fartcoin is the clear leader in holder stats, ranking first in holders when the 500, 1,000, 10,000, and 100K invested as a percentage of total holders. UFD is third in holders with 1,000 invested, column G, fifth with $500 invested, and fifth with $10,000 invested as a percentage of total holders. UFD is the only coin in the top 5 of holder metrics not valued over 100 million or more. So look at this, guys. Here's the top 5. We just looked, and here's the chart down here. You can go to Emma's and pull it up for yourself to look at this data. But here's the top 5 in most all those categories, right? Here's the market caps, right? PopCat, whatever that is, A1I6Z, right? Giga, Fartcoin. We're at 15 million, okay? Undervalued from compared to Fartcoin, we're undervalued 30x. Are you kidding me? Look, I don't know anything about Fartcoin, okay? And I'm not putting Fartcoin down or the Fartcoin community, but I don't I guess I've just never seen the fart coin community. There has to be one, right? And some people have told me that maybe some of the influencers were involved. I don't know. That's just speculation. But how the heck can fart coin be valued 30x unicorn fart dust? I know. I almost wish I didn't put the word fart in the name because we're nothing about farts. It's a little cute thing about the unicorn, blah, blah, blah. Right, of course, right? The unicorn eats jelly beans. Jelly beans give the unicorn gas. And we have this beautiful, how can fart coin? It doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, does that to me, that indicates how undervalued we are. How the heck can fart coin be worth 30 times UFD? I know one way because they've been around longer than us, right? But guys, with what this community is doing and with what the fact that the ultimate value of any cryptocurrency is based on the community of people that believe in it. The same is true with Bitcoin, okay? And the same is true with us. And we're a lot like Bitcoin. We'll talk more about that in just a second here. We almost got to 1,000. I'll ring the gong. I'm going to tease you. Hold on. For those of you who don't know, we have a gong that we ring. And we ring it 3 times in your honor. And we're going to do it today. Welcome, Dusters. How can fart coin be worth 30x unicorn fart dust? I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not. Okay? I'm not. Always invest responsibly, no matter if you're buying a meme coin, Apple computer stock, or a rental building. I don't care. Just, don't borrow, whatever. Okay. But to me, which is why last night we bought 263,000 more UFD beans. All right, I had to go get my ledger. I love that thing. Okay, I keep it off site, but I'll tell you what, my beans are safe with channel sponsor Ledger, right? The leader in hardware wallet technology. I love the Ledger Live app. I love the Ledger Flex that I have. I love the fact how it works. It's really easy to understand, guys, once you dig into it a little bit, like you're holding the keys and it makes you approve everything. It really works great. It really works seamlessly. And don't forget, they got this cool Monopoly bundle going on right now, the Monopoly Bitcoin bundle. There's a link to it in the description of this video. And I actually put it as a pinned tweet on my Twitter profile or X profile, whatever you call it. But they've got this deal where there it is, right? Where you get the Monopoly Bitcoin game, the Ledger Flex, and then a little card where you get a chance to win up to $500 worth of Bitcoin. So thank you, Ledger, for being part of my journey. Where was I? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm done. I quit. Goodbye. You think I'm coming back? Huh? You think I'm coming back? I'll come back when unicorn fart dust, right, has a decent valuation relative to fart coin. I mean, my gosh, it'll drive me up a wall. Look at this. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, guys. That does not make any sense. Look at that. Who's that remind you of? Anyway, it's ridiculous. How can fart coin be 30x unicorn fart dust? Should I sit here in the basement for the next 30 hours until people realize, right? Do a little research. I'm not putting fart coin down. I'm happy for you fart coiners. I don't understand. Somebody please, I beg you. Can somebody please send me an email and explain to me what the value proposition is in fart coin? I'm not putting them down. There's got to be something, but help me learn, because how can that be worth 30 times UFD, where we've got this like pure community of people that are building a community based upon good attracts good, doing good deeds, being a place where everybody's welcome, everybody can belong. I guess everybody farts. Maybe that's what it is with fart coin. And again, I'm not putting fart coin down. I tip my hat, I toot my gas, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't make. We should be brothers. I mean, look at the data that Emma sent. Look at the data that we get from what you guys do socially. I mean, maybe, you know what? I guess I could be happy. I got to buy the beans I bought last night were at like 0.0158 or something, you know, a little over 1.5 cents. It's crazy, guys. It is. And what we're heading toward, okay, what that data shows, right, is we're headed towards this. Yeah, 40% of our beans traded hands. You know, I bought some, right? I put a few more beans in the jug because that jug right there does not get any bigger. And we made it to 1,000 on these dark days. Man, we show up. We show up. Hold on. Let's ring the gong 3 times. Right? Right? For the basement dwellers and the UFD community, the dusters, here we go. Oh, we got to do the 3-second smile. Horns up. Yeah, right. Right. I mean, it's special. It's unique. Horns up. Let's all do the 3-second smile. Now, that's something we do every single live stream because it's important. It feels good. It helps spread positivity. We smile for 3 seconds straight. We're going to do that here right now. 1, 2, 3. I know everybody's smiling. Hold on. Oh, I made a mistake. Everybody say hi to Susie. Let's check with her, see what's going on. Susie, are you there? Over. Hey, how's the live stream going so far? I forgot to turn you on. But is the live stream going well? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, toot the gas. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Okay. Let's talk. This is interesting. What did Jack Dorsey say about Bitcoin? That to me, you know, Jack Dorsey is. Jack Dorsey's from St. Louis. Jack Dorsey created X, and now he's created another company called Block. I'm very embarrassed because, like, for the last month, I've been telling everybody, Square. I guess they changed the name of Square to Block. Went from being a square to being a block. Anyway, which kind of makes sense, right? It became more 3-dimensional or however you want to say it. But this is very interesting what Jack Dorsey had to say. And let's go up here. This is from Bitcoinist. The Bitcoinist, cryptocurrency news and technology. There's Jack from St. Louis. We need to get him involved with UFD because this is very interesting. Bitcoin at risk of institutional capture. Can I get rid of this? Hold on a minute here. Oh, I can. Yeah, sure. I'll agree. Whatever you want. Okay, let's go down here. There's Jack. All right, he's worried about institutional capture. And so he was in some interview, and the CEO of Block and former Twitter chief cautioned that Bitcoin's growing popularity among major financial institutions could threaten the open ethos that gave rise to the world's largest cryptocurrency. Oh, and I'm embarrassed because sorry guys, it's a lot to get all this stuff ready. Not complaining, but I want to look up the definition. Let's do it together. What the heck? Here, we're going to go over here and we're going to share this tab instead because you may be like me wondering, what the heck does ethos mean? Ethos definition. Interesting. Okay. I thought I knew what it meant, but here, it's a noun and it means the characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community as manifested in its benefits and aspirations. Wow. Okay. So that's what I basically thought it meant. So he's saying that as these institutions come in, right? BlackRock, Fidelity, all these big Vanguard and whatever, and start these, you know, Bitcoin ETFs and Bitcoin that that's taking away from the pure spirit that created Bitcoin, which I say, and I think you say as well, is what defines unicorn fart dust as well. That's why I call it a baby Bitcoin. Here, he said, quote, "It probably harms it a bit Dorsey said when asked about institutional investment in Bitcoin. Yet, he acknowledged that large-scale involvement is practically inevitable, adding, I think it's obvious that we'll see more of it, and I hope that more people take on the principles of what made Bitcoin successful in the first place. So what he's saying is, let's go back and look at that one more time. Let's go over here and boom. All right. What he's saying is that he hopes that the characteristics of Bitcoin, the spirit of the culture, the era, the community of Bitcoin, as it was manifested in the beliefs and aspirations and what it accomplished, that it's able to maintain that. I don't know. Right. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I promise you guys, 1,100 of you, right? Dusters, basement dwellers. We're going to go look at the markets and we're going to touch on gold and silver here in a minute as well. But guys, I'm going to send Jack, because he's from St. Louis, I'm going to send him a message, or maybe this is it right now. Jack Dorsey, please. Jack, here, somebody cut this out and make it into a separate video. Jack Dorsey, this is Ron from his basement in St. Louis with unicorn fart dust. Okay, it's a cryptocurrency. It's been 100% formed by the community. It's what you describe when you talk about the ethos of Bitcoin. We're here. We would love to have you as part of our community, as part of our team. It's on the Solana network. We could do great things. I think there's potential for great utility within the UFD cryptocurrency and community. The real utility could be created around this coin, more than already has. You've got an unbelievable high quality person who's your typical UFD duster. These people are great. So Jack, please check it out. We are different. I said it from the very beginning, right? We didn't come out with any big promises. My big promise as the developer of Unicorn Fart Dust was it's a cryptocurrency. It's Unicorn Fart Dust. It's not, I made no promises. We're the opposite of what a lot of the big cryptos, right? They come out with all these grand promises. We're going to do this. We're going to, we're going to reinvent the world. We're going to whatever, and don't deliver. We didn't promise anything. And what we have done, Jack, day by day by day, is deliver. So please just check us out. I think you'll like what you see. All right. That's it. That's the end of my message to Jack Dorsey. And we're from St. Louis. Jack. Okay. Cuban Pete, yesterday's duster of the day. I screwed up. I didn't get to read his paragraph. I'm going to read you something very touching that we got from our friend Cuban Pete. Hold on here. And here it is. Okay. Cuban Pete says, just a personal note to you. This is obviously a financial investment and one of my largest, but I am inspired by your efforts in this community. Okay. Remember, hold on. You know what, guys? Let me point this out because people are always showing us this. There's an interesting word word embedded in community. Do you see it? It's unity. Okay. Anyway, I was raised on principles of honest integrity and honor, duty, generosity, and kindness. And I try to live those principles every day of my life. My wife, who pushes me the most in this regard. UFD, Unicorn Fart Dust, represents those principles and much more. While I'm honored and humbled by the recognition, my real hope is to use the profits from UFD when we hit our goals, is to use it to be good and generous with others. I just want to touch as many lives as possible to help make this world around me a better place. I mean, gosh, guys, do you think there's any other cryptocurrencies where, and it's not just Cuban Pete, we hear this all the time. That's how I feel. That's how you feel. We just want to make the world a little better place. I greatly appreciate you and Susie, the sacrifices you are both making. You're showing up every day, help so many. Your positivity, the 3-second smile, and all these things matter so much. Thank you again, and we're going to make it. Horns up, Dusters, and thanks again for the golden horn. You know what? Today is is Cuban Pete's real day to be the duster of the day. So we're going to reinstall for the second day in a row Cuban Pete's Golden Horde. Congratulations, Cuban Pete. You're a great guy. What you just said, right? What you just said. You didn't say, "Oh, I want to make a bunch of money so I can buy a Lambo." No, you said, "I want to make a bunch of money so I can do a bunch of good for a lot of people." So very awesome. Thank you. Right. Representative of you, the entire community out there. Really, really great. All right. Let's go look at what's going on. Let's talk about, look, cryptocurrency, silver, and gold. In my book, pretty much, and in most all ways, very, very similar. I always say silver in particular is the physical form of crypto. Okay. Crypto is the digital gold, right? Bitcoin, people call Bitcoin digital gold. So we want to keep an eye on what's going on in the precious metals markets because, guys, is we're heading into a period of time which economically is very similar to the 1970s and also the post tech bubble burst. Those two periods are periods of time when gold and silver exploded higher in value. Silver in particular, we're talking like 25, 35x. During the period after that was during the 70s, during the period after the tech bubble burst, silver went from like $5 to $50, 10x, not 10%, 10x. Okay. But remember, during those time periods, there was no cryptocurrency. So now I'm lumping, my opinion only, not financial advice, crypto into the same basket that we have gold and silver in. A lot of people in the gold and silver arena will say, "Oh, crypto took all of our investors, blah, blah, blah." So like they know, right? That's not true necessarily. And we can all exist together, but that's why we keep an eye on the silver and gold. And I love silver and gold. I always have. My basement dwellers, many of whom are here, right? That's the thing. And let me say this to you guys, because we got 1,200 people on here right now. I really implore to you that the people from my gold and silver community and the people from the unicorn fart dust cryptocurrency community get along together. And we do for the most part, right? But if it's so important because I'm telling you guys, we are all on the same team. We are all going after, right, the same reason, the premise upon which we base our decision about what we invest in is so similar. Okay. And there's a lot of great people, a lot of wonderful people in both of those communities. Enough of that. All right. Because we are nice to each other. But let's go take a look at silver because silver did a major, major reversal last night. And you know what? We'll go out here first to let's go to the main CNBC site and see what they've got. They still, I don't know why they're pulling up. That's interesting. But let's look at gold and silver here and see what is happening in those markets as we speak. So we'll go down here to gold, which should pull up silver. Okay, so gold is basically even, okay, on the day. Okay, rise. What? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay, silver is up 88 cents. So the markets have reversed. Hold on here. Oh boy. Like I told you earlier. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. All right, let's go out to Yahoo. This is what the heck is happening? Here's the NASDAQ. Let's see what happened here. Wow, look at this, guys. So the NASDAQ went from 1,500 to 1,600, up 2%. So from being down 5% earlier to up 2%. I told you, I don't know what happened. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. We're going to run out to Zero Hedge real quickly. They may have, yeah, we'll leave you. Goodbye. Okay, guys, hopefully you can see me. I accidentally closed the window. If somebody could give me a 5x5, if you can see me and hear me, we got 12. I'm back. Okay. Okay. I resurrected us from the dead. I'm sorry. I accidentally closed the window. So we got major craziness going on in the markets right now. Apparently the NASDAQ is green. Oh my gosh. Let's go see what, that probably, oh my gosh. Look at UFD, baby. Whoa. See? All right. Go UFD. Am I on the wrong screen? Hold on. Oh boy. Hold on. What? Oh boy. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Everything's falling apart temporarily. I'm going to get it under control here. Boom. And boom. And boom. All right. Where the heck is that screen at? Okay. Okay. So we are on the UFD. Here we are. Okay. On the UFD. Look at us. Look at our price. Almost to 2 cents. That shows you what can happen in an environment when things turn around. So the NASDAQ made a big turnaround, and apparently, I wonder what Solana is doing right now. Solana is at 109. I think it dropped below 100 earlier today. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Solana got down to $96. Solana's at 108. So a dramatic recovery in the in the general markets and in the meme coin sector. I warned you about that earlier when we started. Boy, too bad we didn't buy a bunch of futures options or something. We would have made a ton of money. And I said that. There it is right there, right? Look at my note. Rip your face off rallies. And that's what we just had, a rip your face off rally. Now, a word of caution. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but this volatility, these rip your face off rallies often do happen during what are longer term bear markets. So we'll have to kind of see how that all plays out. But gold is holding up very, very well in the environment that we're in right now. It has been challenging despite this big, rip your face off rally that we just had. But the gold price was holding. Let's see if we can go back out to CNBC, and we're going to go to the main page and get a look at what's going on in these markets. Okay, here's gold. I'm going to see what oil. Okay, so gold is now up $12. Silver, and I'm on the wrong page. All right, now we're on the right page. Gold is up $12. $10. It's going to change, obviously. Silver's up $1.20 per ounce, above 30. Gold above 3,000. Silver above 30. Silver last night was down into the $28, $29 range, and then went flying back in magnificent fashion. So it's very interesting. Even CNBC had a little article. Let me see if I can pull this one up for you. And no, it's a miss. But CNBC had some articles regarding this unbelievable activity that we're seeing in the gold market and the silver market. Look, guys, the bottom line is, as we move into these coming years, there's going to be a big movement away from traditional, this is just my opinion, traditional financial assets. The reason why, right, is that the US dollar will continue to be diluted, will continue to be devalued. That's really what Trump wants, in my opinion, over the long, is a weak dollar. People are going to be looking for safe havens for their assets. The stock market, I think, will probably tread water, is what we're going to be looking at as we move forward. But things like silver, gold, cryptocurrencies could do very, very, very well in that environment. Just go back and look at what happened in the 70s during the stagflationary period. Just go back and look what happened after the tech bubble burst in 2001. So that's what I see happening. Let's go look at our funnies, have some fun here. Thank you to Susie for sharing this one with us. She thought this was funny. That's the mad unicorn. Don't mess with the unicorn. Don't mess with Susie either. Trust me. So hold on. Let's check in with Susie. Make sure I didn't forget to do anything. And Susie, did I forget anything? Over? Okay. All right. Thank you. Susie says goodbye to everyone. Bye-bye. All right. All right, guys. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a wild ride. We know that, but we're in it together, right? This is a community of people who are nice to each other, where we belong. You're always welcome here, right? It's Ron's Basement. It's Duster Club. Some of us are basement dwellers. Some of us are dusters, but we get along. We all have the same long-term goal, right? So please, I want you to come back to the basement. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, giving this a thumbs up, share it with your grandma, share it with anybody you want. Help us get the word out to more people. But first and foremost, thank you. 1,300 people, right? That's a big deal. All right. Hey, there's not enough room down here. We're going to have to get a bigger basement. Have a great day. Be nice to yourself. Don't forget to smile. Okay. And I will see you. Yes, you.